Hello and welcome to the Sound Lab podcast interviews. Unedited. On today's show, interviews from Jethro Tull, Janet Devlin, MOFGY and Halflives. Plus, we throw back to Slam Dunk Festival 2015, where we spoke to Taking Back Sunday. Yep, that's all on today's show. So shall we crack on and play you our first interview from Jethro Tull? They've got a new album out this week, so we had a chat with Ian of the band. Ian of Jethro Tull, how are you?
Oh, about the same as I was yesterday. But at my age, that's good news.
Well, yeah, indeed.
Continuity is everything.
No, absolutely. Hopefully not continuity when it comes to music, but we can get onto that a little bit later because we're going to talk about new music of yours. We've been playing the Tipu House, which is the latest single of yours. Tell us about it.
Well, it's a song from the new album Curious Ruminant, and the Tipo House is a notional apartment block in a town where perhaps disadvantaged families have to live together in perhaps not the most salubrious of circumstances, and graffiti-ridden apartment blocks with perhaps a bit of space outside where children can kick a ball around and play. And the tipo is the tipo tree, which is a tree grown particularly in Mediterranean climates as a tree to provide shade. And this particular notional house I actually found in order to take a photograph for the album artwork. I actually found one not far from a hotel that I often stay in Barcelona. So that became the Tipu house, and the lyrics I slightly altered to fit a Barcelona setting rather than a setting in the south of Italy, or my original thought, which was somewhere set in India. So the lyrics had a little bit of editing and fine tuning, and the one I recorded is the one that's on the album, and that's it's about growing up in adversity, and for some who are ambitious enough and lucky enough, they can rise above that and find successful careers as an adult, in spite of kicking a ball about in the dirt outside a graffiti building.
Nice. And as mentioned, that is coming off your new record, Curious Ruminants, which is out on the 7th of March. What can we expect on the record, and how does it sound in comparison to your previous records?
Well, you can expect a degree of familiarity because after some 55, is it, or 56 years of making records, I do have a certain, not a narrow stylistic range, but nonetheless, I think people will recognize, and not just because they hear a flute or the particular dulcet tones of my voice, but they will recognize the musical points of similarity with a lot of earlier records. But having said that, with each record, I try to move along a bit and perhaps just develop things a little in a not radically different direction, but different enough to keep me feeling that I'm doing something new and not just rehashing the glory days of old. And I think that's what most artists would attempt to do, and some might be more successful than others. But so far, from what I've been hearing, people seem to like this one and think that it strikes the right balance.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have been releasing music, as you said, for kind of over 50 years. How have you and how has the music evolved since the start through until now?
Well, it began back in 1968 when in order to open some doors, we were playing essentially derivative 12-bar blues at the Marquee Club in London alongside illustrious bands like the early Fleetwood Mac and Savoy Brown and Chicken Shack and a bunch of others. But it was also the beginning of a new era where the elements were being put in place for what became known as progressive rock. And that appealed to me much more than being a blues imitator, which I wasn't very good at anyway. And so I drew upon musical influences from Europe, from classical music, and as well as from folk music and to some degree jazz. But over the years, of course, it became more obvious that Jethro Tull was being regarded as a progressive rock band or a prog rock band even in 1972, 73. And then in 77, 78, probably people regarded us as a folk rock band since there were more elements of particularly British folk music that crept into the songwriting. I wouldn't say that any of these musical styles were particularly passionate favorites of the other band members. It wasn't something we really discussed. And I don't think to this day, if I'm writing a song, I don't sit down and try and analyze it ahead of time, trying to fit it into a category. I just follow my nose and do what I think is the best that I can do and leave it to others to classify and put it on a particular shelf of the supermarket, whether it goes under canned goods or the health food shelves or whatever. That's up to other people to decide where to put the Jethro Tull package.
Yeah, we will wait and see where it goes next week, shall we? And you touched on the writing side of things as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
Sometimes it's with a title, sometimes it's with an idea as to what it is I want to write about. Sometimes it's a line of melody or a few chords and a pattern. Sometimes it will be some lines of lyrics. I don't have a method. I try, if anything, to avoid writing every song using the same starting point. I rather like variety and try to try to try to build upon songs from whatever source they seem to come. I mean, a visitation from the muse is welcome. Sometimes I'm bestowed with a title. Sometimes I'm bestowed with a few lines of lyrics or a bit of a tune. But whatever it is, I grasp it eagerly and then move on. And I like the momentum and I like the pace of writing. I don't do a lot of rewrites. When I'm recording, I don't do a lot of takes. I don't spend ages listening to alternative takes. I find that extremely boring. And I know the instant I've played or sung something, if it's not good enough, delete it. It's gone forever. So I employ what is known as destructive recording. In other words, when I go back over something, it doesn't keep the previous take. It automatically deletes it forever. I don't want to hear it again. It wasn't good enough. So that's the way I work. I'm quite a quick worker. Once I get going, that momentum builds up over the course of writing and recording an album.
Nice. And the people of the world, especially in Europe, get the chance to hear you playing some of the new songs, and I'm sure some of the oldies as well, because you're heading out on tour from April. I bet you can't wait to be on the road again.
Yeah, we did some shows last week in Italy, but that was still last year's set list. So the new set list begins on the 1st of April, and that's quite a bit different from what we were playing last year. Different selection of some old songs, some very old songs, and a couple of songs from the new album and a song from each of the last two albums. So it's it's that vain attempt after all these years to try and come up with a set list that provides the bigger picture of what we do rather than just focusing on one era of music or not particularly focusing on entirely on a new album, which, let's be completely frank, does not appeal to most people in the audience who have come to have the gratification of some degree of familiarity or a large degree of familiarity. So it is about trying to satisfy all those different aspects of programming a set list. And that problem began back in 1969 when we had our second album released and we had to be selective about what we played. And it got compounded with every successive album in terms of having to leave things out rather than put things in. But that's the way it is. There's no point in complaining about it. It's a bit like a chef who has to come up with a new menu every year or so, perhaps including some of the things that have made that restaurant popular, and they feel they have to include because people come back and order the same thing again. And as someone who likes his saga Lou and his king prawn jalfrezi, I would be upset if they disappeared from the menu. So whilst I'm interested to try something new when it crops up in a restaurant that I've been to a few times, I like the idea of still having some of the things that I recognize and know that I can order and trust. Mm-hmm. So it's the same with a music set list.
No, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the lineup of Jethro Tull has had many iterations over the years. The guys who have joined recently kind of started joining from about 2007 onwards, so they're fairly fresh compared to the timeline that you've been in the band. But Jack's really new as well. How's the new lineup getting on?
Well, the that new lineup actually began in 2004 with John O'Hara on keyboards and David Goodyear on bass guitar, and Scott Hammond started playing with us in 2000. Well, he started actually in 2010, but full time from end of 2011 onwards. So that really is quite a long time. I mean, the longest standing members of the band really over the years. And Jack Clark, who took over from Joe Parrish James last year, did so because Joe, at the beginning of 2024, decided he just couldn't face all the travel. Not a happy traveler, getting increasingly stressed with the lifestyle, and so Jack stepped in, having played with us before, albeit on bass guitar a couple of times, and also having covered for John O'Hara by playing all the keyboard parts on guitar. So Jack was very familiar with the band and most of the set list, and he was able then to participate on this new record, most of which was recorded in June and July last year.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Ian of Jethro Tull ahead of their brand new album release. Now, we are all over social media at The Sounder Lab, yes, on all the socials, and you can also check out the website, thesounderlabuk.co.uk, so go and check that out as well. Now let's move on and play you our second interview from Janet Devlin, who's about to play Country to Country Festival for the first time. So here we go, Janet Devlin, how are you?
Hello, I am good, thank you. I'm tired. I did my online gigs last night, but they were super fun and they're always worth it, so I'm still buzzing.
Good. You like doing your online gigs, don't you? I see you've done a few.
I've been doing them for like 9 years or so now, which is nuts. It's just one of those things, right, where it's like if you go on tour, we've been lucky most times to break even, like including like the merch sales and stuff, so we don't lose money. But it's nice to do gigs and not lose money because it's just from the studio.
That's the aim, isn't it?
Yeah, and any money that we make from those, like it's, put into the project or even put into live shows anyway. So it helps us actually go do real life gigs.
Yeah, nice. And let's talk about a brand new single of yours that we'll be playing after this interview called Back to My Senses. Tell us a bit about the single.
Okay, so it's like ultimate dad rock country. It was the first song I ever recorded in Nashville, so it definitely holds a special place in my heart. The story behind it is a bit mental, but basically I was dating this guy I met him in like 2017, and like we were always like on and off, on and off. And then if we actually got in a relationship, and ended up finding out that they were cheating on me, and like I took them back, and like there was a whole bunch of other things that were kind of going on as well. So it was like this really turbulent relationship, proper like borderline personality disorder, mental illness relationship, right? Anyway, they went away for work once, and like there's a few things that happened before they went, and they were going away for a whole month, to like Italy or somewhere, and they couldn't obviously come home. And like within the first couple of days of their trip, I sent them a text breaking up with them. Then when it like in that was in a manic episode, turned my phone off for like 3 days. And then 3 days later, like all my feelings kind of came back to me. And I went and I wrote this song. And then instead of texting them and being like, hey, take me back, or I'm really sorry for what I did, I wrote the song and I sent it to them, no context, in the hope that they would take me back.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And that is off your new record, Emotional Rodeo. We had a chat before it was released last year. It's now been out for a few months. How's it gone down with the fans?
Oh man, really well. Like it exceeded my expectations as far as response. Because obviously not like all my fans are like country fans,
Hmm.
but they're like fans of what I do. And it was nice to hear people that are like, oh, never really listened to country in my life, but I really love this album. Which is like a really big compliment. I'm a firm believer though that if somebody says they don't like country, they've listened to the wrong kind of
Mhm.
country, because I can give somebody at least 10 artists for the genres that they love. Because as a genre, it's so wide. It's so huge that
Mm.
it's like, trust me, there is a type of country for everybody. So just getting fans' feedback was so heartwarming. Getting to do like the London album like launch gig with a full band and stuff was so great, because like you record it out in Nashville with a full band live, and that's how it should be played, you know. But yeah, it's been super interesting, and also like reaching a whole new audience that are
Mhm.
country fans, and hearing them have lovely things to say about it and kind of embrace it has been something I did not expect. So it's been great.
Good, good. And you did take a change into the country music style compared to what you'd done previously. Are you gonna stick with the country style now?
That was the plan since the very beginning. It was because when I was first going to make an EP when I was 15, 16, I was going to take a year out of school after my GCSEs and do music. But like it was no question it was going to be country, because that's just what you do. I don't know, like country is so big where I'm from that it just makes complete sense. But then obviously getting into the music industry so young, I allowed myself time to play around with genre, like write songs in different styles, find out my own style. I feel as though my writing has always been very country though, as far as like the storytelling and the topics and things like that. So it's nice to match the sound with my style of writing.
Yeah, absolutely. And off the back of this now new style of yours, you've been asked to do country to country over the next in a couple of weeks' time. I bet you can't wait to be doing those.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Honestly, whenever someone kind of pitched it to me, they were like, oh, because like the stages were already booked months and months and
Hmm.
months ago. So they're like, oh, we'll try and get you on, it might not be a stage that you should like that. I was like, I will play the 10 a.m. slot, like 9 a.m. slot, like before doors open. Like, I don't care. I just want to do it. Like, even if I'm shoved in a corner where no one's gonna be, I will still want to do it. And they did. They gave me a couple of gigs, which is dope. So I'm doing Berlin, Belfast, and London.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice. And you've got a couple of other festivals due this year, Roundhouse Weekender and Long Row Festival, and a couple that have already been announced. What else have you got planned?
Well, yeah, I mean, Long Road's gonna be insane. I've always wanted to go there. So I get my favorite thing about doing any of these festivals and stuff though is like I get a free pass, I get a free ticket essentially. So
That's
I
what I
just
do
get to
this
go
job as
watch all
well.
my faves for free. Yes, it's magnificent. Like I got to support Corey Kent the other day. and I'm a massive fan of his. And it was like, what do you mean I just gotta go sit up in a VIP area and watch him like smash out a London gig? It was so good. There's that, and I just want to do more support. Like, I know naturally, like when you put an album out, it's like, oh, go on tour the album. I'm like, I don't know. I would love to just support loads more people wherever, America, UK, Ireland, anything at all. I would rather do that and then do a tour after that. Because I went to Nashville recently, as in like last week, and I recorded another 20 songs. I still have 7 or 8 songs left over that didn't make the last album. So I've got a plethora of music now. So it's like I could release a deluxe album and then release a new album. We'll figure it out. But the plan is more music, more new music, and hopefully support acts, support gigs. And I may do just some random little shows here and there, but maybe not a tour.
Nice. Cool. You pretty much answered what my next question was going to be with plans for music in the future, and have you thought about the next album? So the answer to that is obviously yes. How do you think it's going to develop from this first country album to the next one?
There was no thinking involved in this, by the way. I came back from Christmas. The label had been asking about like throwing this potential out to go back to Nashville. And then basically when I got back to England in January, it was like, yeah, I think we should go to Nashville, do some more songs. Da, da, da. I was like, all right, okay. When? And it was like, oh yeah, 3 weeks from now. I was like, okay. So I basically wrote a whole album in 3 weeks. Yeah, I wrote, oh God, I don't know, something like just shy of 30 or over 30 songs. So I took those out, recorded those out there. We did 3 days, 20 songs. They sound dope. I'm not gonna lie. Like it, like straight from the desk mixes, insane. I am genuinely so excited for people to hear them because it's like my manager is not a fan of country. He's a fan of the country music that I curate for him, if that makes sense. Like he's not like he's never going to go, oh, I'm a country fan, but he really does like the cool rocky country that I can find for him. But the other day, he was sending me all these texts, super excited after listening to the stuff, and then I went into the studio and he turned to me, and this is like such a when he went, I think I like country music. I was like, ooh, we broke him. We broke him. So if he likes it, I mean, it's a sure set that I think most people will. And the players were insane. And I'm very excited is what I'm saying.
Is it going to be easy to whittle them down to an album length?
I think so. You know, there were songs that I definitely thought were going to go on the last record that didn't, because it's hard, because it's like I would love to just put all my faves on an album, but you can't do that because it has to be still an album journey. Like, you know, you have to have highs, lows, middle of the roads. So it's fine. It's just like you want to squeeze, like, especially like the up tempo high octane stuff, you'd just love to like make a whole album of that, but that would actually like blow people's ears and they'd be exhausted. So like nothing's gonna go to waste, you know. Having like an actual surplus of music is such a nice feeling for someone that was always chasing their tail.
Yeah.
So it's like I have full control over like, you know, maybe I'll release this as a single and it doesn't go on an album. Maybe I just release that deluxe of that and then a full another album and then maybe a deluxe of that album. I don't know. We're gonna see.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Janet Devlin. Now, we also have a Spotify playlist where we bring you 150 brand new up-and-coming unsigned artists who we think you will love, that we love ourselves, so you might just find your new favourite artist on there. It's called Fresh, and a link to that is on our website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. Now, while you go and find that, you can listen to our next interview from MOFGY. They released a brand new EP earlier this year, and what a great chat we had with them. So, MOFGY, how are you?
Yeah, morning, Jim. I'm good, thanks, mate. You?
Good, not too bad. And we've been playing a new single of yours called No Pressure. Tell us a bit about the single.
Feel good track. We got stuck in Sweden a couple of years ago, and that's what the song's about. But I feel more and more it's about being stuck in London City working now. But hey, that's what it's originally about.
Nice. And you've been releasing singles for a while now. Are we now gearing up towards a bigger body of work into EP territory yet, or an album?
Yeah, ideally. There's loads. There's loads written, and loads to a half decent standard. I guess it's just polishing them off and cherry picking the least bad ones and sticking them together.
Yeah, nice. And when it comes to the writing side of things, how do tracks normally start off for you?
Sometimes I'll write the lyrics and a little riff. Max will fill out a lot of it. Sometimes we'll do it all as a band. Yes, it's a bit of a mix, really. It's good fun either way.
Yeah, I'm sure. When it comes to generating the ideas that makes things kind of kick off, is it the riff kind of just with a guitar in front of you? Is it kind of a word that comes out for a lyric side of things?
Yeah, it's usually going to be a guitar riff or a vocal hook that gets it going. I guess some of the older ones are a bit sort of faster and a bit more punky, and some of the later ones are a bit more melodic and try and get people dancing as well as just shouting their heads off, which is always nice.
Is there a preference from your side? Do you prefer the shouty stuff or the more melodic side?
I like both, but I mean, blowing our own trumpet here. But I think what's evident when we play live, and a lot of it is on a punkier scene, which is great, and is sort of where we sort of grew up going to gigs as well as starting to play. But I'd like to say we're a bit more diverse and than a lot of the sets that we see. Which, I mean, could be a bad thing, could be a good thing. Who knows?
We don't want to sound like anyone else, do you?
Well, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I certainly see some people switch off when we start playing. More than 3 chords sometimes, but hey,
yeah.
It is what it is.
And when you take your ideas to the band, is it pretty straightforward to kind of turn it into the finished article, or is it a challenge?
It's normally straightforward. I mean, it's normally a sign, right, that if it's not straightforward, then it's probably not going to be a goer. We got one, yeah. There's always a couple of tracks that you keep. If you like the idea of them or you like a part of it, you get attached to them and you try and make them work. But the more times you go back to it and try and make it work, sometimes the bigger hole you dig for yourself, right? So, yeah, normally, I mean, No Pressure, the latest one it's straightforward, right? It's there's nothing too technical about it, but it's good fun.
Yeah, I'm sure. And when it comes to the lyrics side of things, if the music's there first and you've got to add the lyrics after, is it straightforward for you? Do you have ideas and is it easy to put together, or is that a challenge as well?
A bit more of a challenge now, basically. I don't know. When I was younger, you used to write just loads and loads, and it used to be a bit more rappier. And you know what it's like with that sort of music, you can just fit any lyrics over any sort of riff. If I don't know if there's trying to be a bit more of a purpose to it, or trying to be a bit more melodical, then yeah, sometimes that's a bit tougher.
Do you still have a bank of lyrics to the side, or is it kind of more off the cuff at the time?
Books of them, yeah, but I'm not sure how much my toes curl when I read them back sometimes. But yeah, well, I mean, we've only been a band post. Well, I've only been in a band with them since post uni, so used to play loads of sort of just bedroom solo stuff at uni and have loads of lyrics and that. But it was only after that I got the chance to play live in a band with these lads. So that's that's why they were stacked up originally. But yeah, they're good.
Yeah, cool. And you've been doing some shows towards the end of last year. You did some headliners as well. How did they all go down?
Yeah, decent. What was the best one? Old Blue Last, probably the best one. I like it's a good venue. Get it bouncing in there. It sounds pretty good too. And obviously we've got this little run of weekender tours that we're doing now, which is great. Kicked off in Bristol on Saturday. Got Leeds and Manchester coming up this weekend, so yeah, get some rest in before then. And it's just good seeing new cities, right? New cities, new venues, new people. As much as we're appreciate the sort of lads and ladies that come down to all of our London gigs. It's nice to see some new faces.
No, yeah, absolutely. And once this short run's over and done with, what's the plan next? Are you hoping to get some more dates in the diary?
It's a good question, but yeah, I mean, yeah, we sort of haven't thought that much further ahead, but I mean, we do it for the live shows, right? That's why you do it. So yeah, the bigger the better, and yeah, just go from there, really.
Festivals on the cards as well this year, do you think?
Depend. You got anyone looking or booking?
Not me personally, but I'm sure there are.
I mean, obviously, you would say it about your own band, but I don't know. I think we'd fit in well with the little circuit scene. If you obviously you'd need to see us, but I don't know. It's like throwing a party. It's good fun when we play live, and hopefully everyone gets involved. And I think the summer festival would be. Yeah, I don't think we'd be out of place.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. And you must have some aspirations of things you want to achieve as a band. What's one thing that you want to do?
I mean, we said tour. We did a little gig in Utrecht a couple of months ago, and it was obviously a long way to go for one gig, but it was a great weekend and a good gig. I'd love to play some tours abroad, obviously, at some point, but I don't know. Just stick together for the time being. Keep four of us in a room, not arguing, and writing new tunes for the time being. It's tough, obviously. Everyone works full time, right? So it's tough always. And as we mentioned, Broj was supposed to be on this with me. But unfortunately, I mean, if someone's overslept or messing about with their hair, then and they're late to practice or late to anything, then you can get annoyed. But unfortunately, if someone's got work commitments or this or that, then unfortunately, it's something that we all have to prioritise. So just keeping everyone happy in their spare time doing this, really, because everyone has their lives, right, and their day jobs that they have to adhere to. So yeah,
definitely, yeah, no, definitely. And as you guys are fairly new, I'd like to find out how you guys got together and decided to do this sort of music as well.
Nice. So as I mentioned, I played with these boys post uni, but that's a slight white lie because we did our first gig. They were in another band, all the other lads, and there was our secondary school did a summer festival one year, and we just thought everyone took it a bit too seriously, so we said we'd go the next year and take the mick a little bit. So we did. What do we do? Played a Beastie Boys cover and a Jamie T cover, and we're banned for life. So yeah, that's how we played. That was the first one, yeah, about 18, and then we got back together when we finished uni, and there was a bit of a change of personnel and whatnot.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with MOFGY. Now, we also have these very interviews alongside music. Yeah, we have a radio show, which is how the Sound Lab started initially. We put together a 2-hour show featuring new music, live sessions, and all the interviews on today's podcast will be on there in a shortened version and alongside a new track of theirs. So make sure you go and check that out on our website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. Now let's play you our final new interview, and it comes from Halflives, who we had a chat with earlier this year to talk about new music and more. So, Halflives, how are you?
I'm great. I'm doing great, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure is all mine. And the reason we're having a little chat is because we've been playing a new single of yours called Perfectly Broken. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Yeah, I think it's one of my favorite from the new era. And honestly, I really, really wanted to have like this sort of anthem for the broken and for the misfits. Even though it has this like catchy and sort of happy vibe, it has very dramatic lyrics, and they're like an empowering anthem for everybody who's ever felt like left aside, broken, and you end up accepting yourself despite all of your flaws. I think many people can relate to this, and even the misfits needed an anthem.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And is this now the start of more new music to come for you?
It is. Spoiler alert, I just finished shooting a new music video last night, and it's coming very soon. So new era, the golden era. We just announced a tour called like that. This is the golden era, and there's golden music coming for you.
Good, good. And the route you're going down with the music now,
Yeah.
was it specifically the plan to want to go down that route, or is it just simply how it's turning out?
I think it's how it went. I'm really following the flow. I'm not forcing anything really. Otherwise, it's not honest, and I really want it to be honest.
Yeah. Is that how you've always operated when you've come to write music?
Not really, not really. For a time, I tried to impose myself like, I want this to sound like that. I want it to be more pop. I want it to be more something. And it never worked. Like when I was forcing it down a specific route, it was not working. So I was always ending up stuck with my demos. And then I started to let it go. I started to trust the process, and now I think I'm starting to write the best music I could have ever done. I'm really proud of what's coming. It's not just some sentences I'm saying to hype whoever is going to listen this. I'm really, really honest about this. The new record is going to be, I think, my best work so far.
Amazing, amazing. And when it comes to the writing side of things, then for you, how do tracks normally start off?
It depends. Sometimes it starts with a lyric line that pops up in my head. Maybe I hear something and it translates into lyrics in my head, and I start to hum a melody. And so I run back to my home studio and I start singing on top of a few chords to see what comes up. And from there, I build a whole song. Or some other times I play my guitar. For example, the next single, that's how it like came to life. I started to play my guitar, and I started to play like a super cool guitar riff sort of, and it had a vibe. And from there, I started building the whole song from like the verse, and some other time the line that I have in mind is from the chorus. There's not a specific rule. It's just a vibe that starts building up, and then the whole song comes to life. But let's say that when I don't have specific lyrics in mind is a bit harder, because if I have the whole song figured out but not a specific topic, then I have to really overthink the topic sometimes.
Yeah, I can well imagine. You mentioned a tour coming up as well in April. You're heading out across Europe and over here as well. I bet you can't
Yeah,
wait to be
yeah.
doing some more shows.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so, so happy. Headliner tours are always extra fun and always a bit extra, pressuring because it's up to me to sell those tickets and fill the venues. But I trust the process here too now, and I trust that it's going to be great. The first headliner tour we did last year, I was very stressed about it, but it turned out to be one of the best touring experiences I've ever done. So I'm always going up now, upwards and onwards from there. And I think that this tour is going to be very, very exciting. We're preparing a whole new show, preparing a scenography for it, lights and very cool stuff to have a visual upgrade as well. So I'm really, really hyped for it.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. And that's taken us into May, but then we're into festival season once again. Are you hoping to be on the festival circuit this year?
Ah, I do, of course. We're in the discussion phase with some of them. There is one that is confirmed, can't say which one. But yeah, I really hope that more will add up to that one.
And festivals over here?
Not in the talks, unfortunately. They're the
That's a
hardest
shame.
one to get.
Yeah,
Yeah, the UK is the hardest one to get.
highly sought after, I think.
Yes, yes. But one day I am, again, trusting the process that it will happen. It will happen at some point.
Yeah, no, it absolutely will. And then once festival season's out of the way, we're into autumn, into the fall time. Are you
Mhm.
going to be back out on the road again?
Hopefully, I think we'll be chasing some support tours for that period. But yeah, never staying home. Basically, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Always being on the road, always being active. We are a developing act. We are growing. So I really, really want to be out there and to do what I can do best, Other than writing music, it's playing shows. So I gotta do that. I want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you hoping to go to the States? Is there anywhere else you haven't been to that you want to get to as well?
Maybe one day, but like one step at a time. We're like still conquering Europe and the UK. So for now, the focus is here. But yeah, one day I will have to take that overseas plane and go there and conquer a new state, a new territory. But it will happen one day.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Halflives. And this is the part of the show where we like to throw back in time to one of our early interviews. And we did this one at Slam Dunk Festival 2015. Yes, we spoke to Taking Back Sunday while they were on site at the festival. So let's throw back to 2015 to talk to Taking Back Sunday. How are you?
Doing well.
Pretty well. Yeah, having a nice day here at Slam Dunk.
Yep. And we go home tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a very quick trip.
Yeah.
How long you been here?
I don't know, like 5 days, something like that.
Yeah. Well, we left on Tuesday and we're getting home on a Tuesday, so it will be a 7-day trip.
Excellent. Great. So, what else has been going on over the last couple of months or so?
We did about a 2-month-long tour in the States, so that was fun. Then we were home for about a month, just hanging out, relaxing, reconnecting with the family, and then we came over here, and it's been wonderful.
Okay.
You know, I feel like the food here in the UK has gotten better in the last decade.
Oh, right. Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. I'm not that old, so.
Right.
How old are you?
21.
Oh my God, you're a young man.
I'm a youngster. Yeah.
So you were like 11 when
I
we
was about
started coming
11
over here.
then. Yeah.
Wow.
Or young, 9?
Jeez, man, that's so weird. We started coming over here a decade ago, and you were literally
I was still in shorts and.
Yeah, you were a young lad going to school, and you were going out. Hey, mommy, I'm going to school. Take care now.
With a little backpack
With
on.
a little
over
backpack
it.
and a hat.
Yeah, that's it.
Like Angus
That was
Young.
me all over. I also had glasses as well, little round glasses. I'll tell you what, I kind of looked like Harry Potter when I was younger.
Did you?
So did I.
But now I
Yeah.
look like Hagrid.
Did you do well in school?
I didn't do too badly. It wasn't
C?
great, but
Were you a C student?
I was a B. B/C.
That's
not bad.
All
That's not bad.
Bs, yeah.
That is respectable.
Yeah, I got my A levels, so
That's all that matters.
all good.
Yeah,
all
good.
good. And now I'm here doing radio, talking to you guys.
There you go.
And I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, back to you. How's Slam Dunk been over the last few days?
It's been fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they take good care of us. It's a well-run festival. We've got some friends all around and stuff, and it went by in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Can't believe this is
Gone.
it.
I can't believe it's done. Yeah.
So what's your plans next? You're going home. Then what?
Yeah, we're going home. We have a pretty good amount of the summer off, but like we're doing little things here and there, little shows.
Sporadic here and there. Then we're gonna do some writing on a new record. We got to get together. We all live in different parts of the state, so we always have to fly somewhere to get some ideas together.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna meet up in Michigan, do some writing, and then that's
see
about
where it
it.
goes from there.
Yeah, we've been touring our butts off, so it's kind of nice to take a little break. But Sean and I live in a beach town in Long Island. We're from Long Island, New York.
Yep.
So it's kind of nice, got our families right on the water, and it's
Spend a lot of time at the beach.
yeah. And what's nice about it is that the water's really clean now because they have a lot of laws to make the water. The water's much more clean than it used to be. So it's weird that there's like dolphins there and whales and
You can see them swimming like far out, and that's really cool. Because there used to be hypodermic needles washing up, and that was disgusting.
Yeah. There's quite a bit of a drug problem. There's actually a movie about it. What's the movie with Robert De Niro? What's the
Raging Bull.
no about Long Beach?
I don't know. I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name. I've never seen it.
City by the Sea. And it was about our town in the 70s. But now it's picked up. It's a nice town.
Yep.
Sorry, we're not talking about the band at all.
That's fine. I love drifting off into different tangents all the way.
But that's going to be nice to have that time. So what I was saying, we have a lot of time off. We have a good amount of the summer off. But so it's going to be nice to finally have some time off, spend it with the families, go to the beach, yada yada, hang out.
Back over here, anytime.
I don't think we have any plans yet, but we were just saying. I think in the last year and change we've been over here 3 times, I think. So it's like every 6 months we keep coming over. So I'm sure there will be something sooner than
towards the
later.
end of the year, maybe.
Maybe.
Any festivals over the summer?
No, just some stuff in the States. A few festivals, a few radio shows, I think. But yeah, all just in the States.
Cool.
Wait, are we allowed to talk about what we're doing in the United States?
I don't know.
Neither do I.
Yeah,
I don't know what stuff is okay and what's not.
Neither do I.
I don't know what's been announced.
We are doing a couple of festivals.
Yeah.
But
Big ones.
big one, I think. We're doing Riot Fest, aren't we? Oh, we're not. I don't think. No, we're not doing that. We did that last year. We did that last year.
Yeah.
We're not. But
Got an edit button on that.
but we are having a good time here at Slam Dunk. I did 50 push-ups this morning.
Look at him.
And
He's got rocks in his arms.
you want to feel my muscle?
That's some nice muscle.
I'm a very strong man.
Yeah. I haven't got any. Mine's just like balls of flab.
Well, you gotta
Droop
start
it down.
doing push-ups right in the morning, right when you get up
I will.
out of bed.
Yeah.
Mark didn't start working out until he was 34, so you got plenty of time.
I've got plenty of time, yeah.
You have a whole decade and then some.
That's how old we are. What? Eddie, our guitar player, is 42. So we're not that old.
Yeah. He could be your father. Our
He
guitar
actually
player could be your father.
He actually could be.
Maybe he is.
Who knows?
No, definitely not.
No.
You're very lucky.
Yeah.
Good.
He's been sleeping the whole day.
Yeah. Is that why he's not here now then?
Oh yeah, he's he doesn't understand how you just have to push through jet lag for like a couple hours and then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
He just sleeps all day. But I mean, I guess that's what old men do anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if people wanted to find out more about you, get hold of your music, where can they go and do that?
TakingBackSunday.com at TBS Official on the old Twitter.
Yeah.
And
And then our Facebook. Check out our Facebook, Taking Back Sunday Facebook.
like it.
Like it. We have how many likes do we have on Facebook?
Millions.
We have a lot of likes.
Yeah.
It's over a million. I don't even
Would you
know
say
that.
it's uncanny how many Facebook likes we have?
Yes. It's uncanny.
It's uncanny.
Yeah. Wow.
My mom said that, I think.
Shit.
Yeah, she said, Mark, this is uncanny. How many Facebook
See, we
likes?
don't use that word over here.
Uncanny.
You don't?
No, we don't use uncanny.
Huh.
No.
Why not?
I don't know.
I mean, we don't use it either. Mark's mom does.
My mom does.
She brought it in. She was the first one to say it.
This is uncanny. I don't, what a silly term, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I never use that term. I just said it to be silly. But, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, Spotify, right? That's what everybody
Spotify.
uses nowadays.
Spotify, the iTunes.
Where do you guys buy your music here? Walmart?
No, not a lot of CDs get produced anymore. No, it's just all iTunes now over here.
It's a little sad. Our manager is here with us, and then we went out to lunch today.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, it's a little sad. That there's nobody really, Taylor Swift goes platinum. Who else?
No.
And it's a little bit of a sad thing that, that's just not, a thing. You don't see that anymore. Hey, here's your that band went platinum.
Maybe you'll have a platinum single.
We had friends of ours. Oh shit, they went. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
cursing.
That's all right. Edit it out. It's fine.
Okay.
I'll keep it in now because we're talking about it.
Okay. They went platinum. You know what I mean? Oh, they got a gold record, or their single went gold. It's just not a thing anymore, and it's kind of it's sad. It saddens me a little bit.
There's a couple of record stores out there, but I'll tell you what, people are buying vinyls now.
They are. And that is a thing. But it is at the same time, and you can't sit here and cry about it, and I am doing that exactly right now. And, everything has changed, but, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But sometimes when I think about it, I go, it's a sad thing that the whole industry has changed in that way.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there from Taking Back Sunday from Slam Dunk Festival 2015. And that's the end of the show for another week, I am afraid. But don't you worry, we will be back next week with another episode of Interviews Unedited. But if you can't wait until then, check out our social media at The Sound Lab Yes on all the socials. And check out the website, thesoundlabuk.com. www.interviews.co.uk. And we will be back next week for a brand new episode of Interviews Unedited. Goodbye.